You ready? You got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, feel that. Raise your hands up. Raise them up.
Okay, welcome everybody to the Forex Trading Asia Daily Currency Call, episode 281. So this is the currency call where you will get market economic updates, key support resistance levels, trade ideas, and more. So this currency call is going to be very beneficial to both the long-term investors and short-term traders. Here we will be going through what could move prices, possible trade ideas, and also highlighting potential targets and risk. So a disclaimer here, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. All right, so first things first, let's have Scott Andrews from Forex Briefcase Australia to share his outlook on the dollar index. Scott.
All right. Hello, everyone. And thank you for joining us again as well. It's always a pleasure to come on and present my thoughts. So I did mention yesterday that we were going to be watching 90.80 or thereabouts on the US dollar for a possible entry. So what I'll do, I'll just share my screen here as well. So I finally have the SAM trade with the indicators up as well for everyone. So look, what interested me was we did see a little bit of a lift. We got to around 90.74, 75, depending on your broker or the spreads that you've got. I had an order in at 90.80, didn't get executed. So right now, I'm just leaving it be. So I have two thought processes here. We could see the US dollar come a little bit lower, and then we could see a bounce off 90.4 or so, which was a recent low that we've seen. Alternatively, we come back up to the red line around 90.80, and you either put an order in or you're around that time and you sort of take the order. And those are my thought processes. Now, again, stop losses, have a strategy in place in regards to that. If it's super wide, obviously, how low is the US dollar going to go? So keep the stop tight, obviously, because you want to, risk less than what you could make. So again, we had the Fed announcement and everything. So the catalyst is I guess everything was sort of priced in, really. Jerome Powell didn't really go off script. So it's one of these things, if you do focus on this, I would say just wait until it gets to a point of interest where the traders are interested in either buying it or selling it instead of right now, because it's just floating around and it's not particularly really high probability if you were just to take a trade right now. So I'm just going to leave it, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens today. And then the US session comes into play, and we have been seeing equity markets pushing a little bit high. So we'll see what happens with the US dollar and how it reacts, really. So just be patient, guys, and I'm sure there'll be an opportunity coming soon.
Okay, thank you for that, Scott. Scott is from Forex Briefcase. I pasted the link on the chat. So if you're looking for a managed account service, to check out the link. So so right now we are going into the currency in focus right now, Canadian dollar and cryptocurrencies. So right now I'll pass the time to Jin Dao Tai, founder of LCMS Traders, a multi-million-dollar trader, trading an account with more than $14 million on a daily basis. So Jin, I'll pass the time to you now for the Canadian dollar.
Good morning, everyone. So looking at the Canadian dollar today, there has been quite a bit of action, I would say, on the Canadian dollar. We've seen it since the last time we spoke about this. Now showing you the chart here on the US CAD H4 time frame. When we spoke about this last week, saying that it was likely to reject the 1.25 resistance level here and possibly look to head towards the 1.24 level. But look what we have, it not only hit that 1.24 level, It broke way below that, now sitting at the 1.2274 support level. At this point, looking at it on a daily chart, you can see that it's a massive multi-period low. Referring back to the weekly chart even, it's still, the last time we got to this point was way back in 2017 December. It hit this 1.2283 support level and it bounced quite significantly from that point. Now we're revisiting this low point again. Can it go lower? I do think that the US CAD can possibly go lower. We've seen it breach this support level and hit 1.2148 way back in September 2017. So what should we be looking out for in terms of the US CAD on a, in the short to medium term time frame here? Look at what the drivers of price could be. Looking at the news here on the Forex Trading Asia economic calendar, on Friday today, we've had some news being released for the other currency pairs already. We've got some pound, we've got some euro news coming up, but with the focus on the US CAD, the Canadian GDP being released tonight, 8:30 Singapore time, it was 0.7% GDP month on month for the Canadians, expected to come out at 0.5%. So at a 0.5%, this would indicate that although GDP is stabilizing a little bit, that change is not massive. In fact, it's that it would have dropped down a little bit. So possibly if the GDP does come out at 0.5 or even at 0.6%, we might see the Canadian weaken a little bit. However, the main driver of price so far and in general is still the US dollar. And like Scott was sharing, we might see, although we might see some retracement in the dollar index, we'll probably still see some downside coming around. So nothing much else to push prices in terms of the US CAD, for the US CAD, in terms of the US dollar and the Canadian economic data. We've got some consumer sentiments being released, and then we have the budget being released as well later tonight. All that put together, what we might actually see happen on the US CAD. Now referring back to the charts, the straightforward easiest thing to look for is to see it drop, continue heading lower to the 1.2148 support level. It's on that downtrend coming down, possibly with the Canadian economic data coming out at 0.5 or maybe even at 0.6, some volatility pushing it a little bit higher, but that overall trend pushing the US CAD lower is still the most likely scenario. Possibly could see it drop towards the 1.2148 or 1.2150 level. In this case, I would be very careful for further downside, because this is a multi-year low. Back in 2017 was when we saw it. We're in 2021 now. So if you're looking for the downside, 40 pip stop loss, a good 80, 90 pip take profit. But anticipate that if it does drop to that point, we're probably going to see a lot of volatility, a lot of take profits, and possibly some stop losses being hit. So we're going to see quite a big movement at this point. However, a bit of a contrarian view is that if I'm looking at it on the daily time frame, we see it at this support level now, even on the H4 time frame at the 1.2283 support level. This might be a chance. This might be a chance to trade it against the trend. This might be a chance to think that, hey, could this move up? And we could see a very good risk to reward trading it higher if you were to look at it to go past that 1.2315 level. You could look at a 40 pip stop loss again for that 80 pip, 180 pip, and possibly back into that range of the 1.2580 a 250 pip move upwards. This would be significantly counter trend. This would need the US dollar strength to come around. Possibly not going to happen immediately, but this might be a longer term trade that you're looking for. So how I look at this, US CAD, that short-term trade, you might want to manage it closely, look to keep selling it down towards the 1.2148 level, but keep in the back of your mind the possibility for a big bounce, the big retrace or counter trend move back up. Once you see any evidence of that happening, look to take advantage of that, keep your stop loss quite tight for massive upside back towards the 1.2580 resistance area.
Okay, thank you, Jin, for the currency focus analysis today. And right now, we have a lot of movement in the cryptocurrencies market. So right now, I'll pass the time to Daniel, coach at LCMS Traders, to talk about the cryptocurrencies. Daniel.
Hey, Jinwei, thank you very much. This week, cryptocurrency is really interesting. What happened? So you can see straight away offhand in my chart, Bitcoin did drop, right? With all the news from the US President Biden. We talked about it last week, the plan to raise capital gain taxes. We expected it to drop, and we were saying that we would drop it first to 45,000. Maybe if we pass that 45,000, may drop. So it did push down, but it didn't touch the 45,000 range, right? It touched about 47,000 level before it flips back. And why was that? Because there was some news, it surged up almost about 10%, moving all the way to about 54,000 level, whereas because the JP Morgan Chase was talking about offering a managed Bitcoin fund. So basically manage a fund that uses Bitcoin to trade. So there could be a demand coming in for Bitcoin, and that's where it caused a slightly push about 10% moving upwards, so causing this looking like this trend line here seems to be like a false breakout. So right now that's something that to take note of. But however, after which really it's just moving across, doesn't mean some seems to moving much. I'm looking at the trend line right now. Looking at the market and what's possibly could happen. I think it's going to move across. It's not going to move up, and then we're going to see if there's any news coming in. However, I'm still in favor of an uptrend where it could continue right now. If there's no news on the regulations coming control, or President Joe Biden, no more news coming next week about the capital raise plan, then perhaps it could move an upwards direction towards the 60,000 range. However, if there is any news, so be careful, don't enter a buy trade. If you see any news coming in that will impact the Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies arena. Okay. However, what today I would like to discuss is the other Bitcoin, the other coin, the alternative coins we have is the Ethereum. Ethereum really hits really very nice. Usually Ethereum follows very closely, quite correlated with the Bitcoin. However, you can see right now, it did drop. However, it continues on upward trend, really very nice. Hold at 23,000, breaking past. And I did mention that last week we may drop to 2150. 2150, and then before it goes back up, breaking past the 2,300 level and possibly going to 2,500 level. Now it did that, and it continues to push more than my expectation of even going past the 2,700 level range, right? Why I hit that? Because again, Ethereum had a real very nice news about European Investment Bank announcing it sold a euro 100 million on a 2-year digital bond on the Ethereum network. Basically, it means they're actually using the Ethereum to trade. Now, you'll notice that more and more news coming in that instead of using Bitcoin, there are a lot of people are using alternative coins such as the Ethereum. In fact, I think 2 weeks ago, there was even talking about financial product launch in Canada. So you should know that there are more and more institutional investors and big investors, right? Those individual big investors have been increasing their Ethereum holdings over the past weeks. And if again you have more and more banks or financial institutions really announcing a bond or using Ethereum, that you know that this Ethereum demand is going to be high. So really, there's high probability that the more institutions will turn to Ethereum and pushing the price much higher. Now, how high could it go? Looking at the charts right now, it could go even as high. I'll look at it and maybe in the next level will be the like 2,800 to the 900. I will going to boldly predict right now. Okay, so bear in mind, this is my opinion. So if anyone wants to trade, please do your own analysis. my bold prediction is for the next week. Also, it could even push to a level of 3,000 range level because a lot of good news coming in, a lot of big investors making news publicly that they're buying, they're increasing their Ethereum holding. So the demand for Ethereum is going to be really strong. So looking at it straight away, I would prefer, if anybody is looking for cryptocurrencies, Ethereum will be much better preferred than Bitcoin, and because of the very nice strong momentum upwards towards the 3,000 range. Okay, so yeah, Jinwei, back to you.
All right, thank you, Daniel. So as Daniel mentioned, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Okay, right now I'll pass the time back to Jin because today is Friday. So we will be doing next week's outlook on the currencies. So Jin.
All right, thanks for that. Next week is going to be a weird week of trades. Why do I say that? It's because if I share with you now, again, back to the economic calendar, looking into next week's news, take note on Monday, the UK is on holiday, it's a bank holiday there. So, the afternoon sessions is probably going to be a little bit quieter, and you see there's not a lot of news being released, well, a lot of news, but not a lot of big major news being released for that day, apart from, later at night with the US PMI numbers coming out. The main thing you're going to focus on next week as we head into a brand new month, looking into May, that first week of May, we have on Tuesday here, the Reserve Bank of Australia interest rate decision. Rates are possibly going to stay the same. Pay attention to the rate statement at that point. And then, looking at Wednesday, we have a lot of other news, but the thing comes around on Thursday where you have the UK's Bank of England's rate decision. I think this might be the one that we're not looking at any changes, but looking at the statement, we might see some higher volatility come around for the UK pound dollar, and possibly even the euro pound as well. The UK, the Bank of England might be a little bit positive in this news release here. So look out for that trading opportunity. And on Friday, we have the non-farm payrolls being released, the US non-farm payrolls, looking again at some relatively good numbers with unemployment rate looking to drop further, with non-farm payroll change possibly going better, and also the average hourly earnings turning better again. So this might be that base level where we'll see that improvements or that reclaim of the US dollar strength coming back. So next week, early in the week, possibly going to be a little bit quiet with some bank holidays being applied. Not a lot of news at that point, but the action starts on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as we get all the central bank interest rate decisions and also the non-farm payrolls.
Okay, thank you, Jin, for that. Yep. So do watch out for next week's Wednesday to Friday's market movements. Okay, so right now I'll pass the time to Daniel here. Daniel would like to share a little bit about the Traders Club at LCMS Traders. Daniel.
Yes, thanks, Jinwei. So, yeah, since 2014, LCMS Traders Club has helped hundreds of traders, exactly like all of you here, going through completely confused, unprofitable, actually understanding the market, recovering losses, and finally really being profitable. So, right now, what I like to do is to introduce you to the LCMS Traders Club and our dedicated club platform, right? So you could see here, this is really for anyone who's serious about being profitable in trading. Right here, we host a community of traders sharing trade ideas, strategies, analysis, monitoring the market together, and it's almost being part of a professional trading firm. So you can see here on the trading floor, this is how we share trade ideas, looking at the analysis and ideas, and also looking at the market. We have the market watch, where a dedicated team here looking into the market, what could possibly be moving, what is happening in the market. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about the platform here right now. So just to tell you, see the platform, we have a lot of features here as well. We have the economic news calendar. You can see here the economic news calendar, where you can plan your trades, know what surprises could be coming up, and prepare for it. Now, not only that, we have a data flash, where data flash gets the news earlier than anyone expected. That's why we noticed, and you can have actually some form of alert for those critical news that you want to be to immediately know what is happening. Now, another interesting feature we have is the FX heat map. You can see what is moving, knowing immediately which currency to focus on. For example, US yen or Euro yen, if it's a green, and you can see some blinking and movements here. These are possible some movements in the market that you want to focus on. Now, not only that, everything here is moderated by the coaches at LCMS Traders. Okay, we have what we not only have that, we have live sessions twice a week. Coaching on Monday, there's a group coaching on Monday, and live trading on Wednesdays. Now, these sessions are where we can guide you through a current market conditions, and we can literally make profits together. Now, for those who have joined us on the Telegram channel, you have receiving the trade signals late. But here on the platform, you will get all the signals 5 minutes earlier. You can see the signal chat group here. You have 5 minutes earlier, and also learn the strategy and the reason behind every signal, and take profit level. Okay, so you can see here on the signal chat room, where all the signals were issued immediately, and also the signal analysis, where we give you the information of why we take the trade, and if it hits TP1, TP2, or TP3, to either secure your profit or to hold on, continue to the next step target level. Now, the fantastic thing is this platform is available as a web, desktop, and a mobile application, which means you can access all the contents anywhere, anytime, and receive mobile notification on all our signals. Now, this club membership and access to the platform is worth thousands, but this is the chance for you to join at $49 a month. This is without a doubt the very least you can do if you want to achieve your best in trading. So all you need to go is traders.lcms.com.sg. I'm sure the link will be posted out for you later. And then you can see here, just click on this $49 a month, and you'll get everything on the platform and the dedication of the coaches for you. Okay, so this is all about the LCMS Traders Club.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, for that. So we have come to the end of the session today. So we'll see you guys Monday, for the Aussie and Kiwi analysis. Thank you so much, and goodbye.